안녕하세요. 매일매일 운동하기를 실천하고 있는 동탄 왕꼬입니다. 오늘 일요일이에요. 이태원발 코로나가 재유행을 하면서 술집도 가지 말라는 회사의 지침이 내려왔습니다. 오늘은 하루 종일 집에 있을 건데 오늘 쉬는 날인데 점심이랑 저녁 뭐 먹죠? 날씨도 되게 흐려요. 어쨌든 결론은, 자, 오늘 제가 영상을 찍을 건데 운동을 할 겁니다. 스트레칭이랑 팔굽혀펴기 위주로 하겠죠. 근데 이제 오늘 하루 종일 운동을 할 거예요. 턱걸이도 할 거고요. 영상으로는 안 찍을 거지만 스쿼트도 계속 할 거고요. 틈틈이 영상으로 찍을까? 1, 2, 3편 계속 모르겠습니다. 일단 스트레칭 하면서 아침 운동 할게요.
Wherever you are in the world, Lotte is always close to you. Lotte will be with you throughout the world until the name Lotte is synonymous with friendship. Your lifetime friend, Lotte.
All new Inside Africa. Unlocking the mysteries behind the continent you thought you knew. In Zanzibar, musical trailblazers break down barriers by building new beats.
I'm doing what I love, so yeah, I no longer feel guilty.
Inside Africa, today, only on CNN, in association with Zenith Bank.
As the world begins to adapt to the new normal of business in the time of coronavirus, many firms are adjusting their focus towards civic duty. The Arab Banking Corporation has announced a $10 million fund for COVID-19 relief efforts across the Middle East and North Africa. The Bahrani Group says it wishes to lessen the financial burden on those most impacted and support frontline medical workers and volunteers. Meanwhile, the Malaysian arm of Amway has donated a total of 250 air purifiers to public hospitals across the country. The donation is worth about $325,000. And from hospital to hospitality, a group of Spanish chefs has joined together as Delivery for Heroes. While their Barcelona restaurants are closed, the group is distributing between 200 and 300 free meals to hospital staff per day. For more stories of the people making a difference and to find out how you can impact your world, go to cnn.com/impact.
This is interesting. During this past week, Texas saw its deadliest day yet of the coronavirus pandemic, 58 deaths in the space of 24 hours and a new spike in cases as well. But the state is pressing ahead with reopening. Here's a look inside a packed Houston restaurant, for example, and you don't see much social distancing at all. In Austin, however, Mayor Steve Adler's keeping his stay-at-home order in place, along with mandating face masks and calling for dine-in restaurants to keep logs of customers for possible contact tracing down the road. And that's led to a showdown between city and state. Mayor Adler is joining us now. Earlier this week, the state's attorney general, Mayor, said your stay-at-home order was illegal and claimed that having restaurants keep lists of clients, in his word, was Orwellian. What do you make of that response?
You know, it's a shame. It's the first real push to politicizing this health crisis. I'm trying really hard not to follow the Attorney General down that path. We responded to him yesterday. With respect to restaurants, it is important for our health department to be able to contact trace, to be able to let people know if they were in and around people who have the infection so they can take care of themselves. And quite frankly, the restaurants keeping a log of who's been there is not too dissimilar just to the reservation log that restaurants have. But in any event, it's not mandatory. It was just a recommendation because, quite frankly, if I went to a restaurant, that's something I'd want the restaurant to do.
Why do you think Austin needs stricter rules right now, and how do you get residents to comply when they're hearing a very different message, for example, from your governor?
You know, it's real confusing when people on the street are hearing conflicting messages from leadership, from hearing different messages coming out of Washington D.C. They don't know what to believe. They don't know if we're past this crisis. They don't know if it's still serious. They don't know if the virus is still infectious. And people need to know, because ultimately we're not going to be able to enforce our way really to any set of rules. We did a really good job in this community, as did many others, of tamping down the virus because of individual decisions made by individuals that together add up to a collective action in a community. We're trying to get as much information and data to our community as we can so that they can make informed decisions.
Are you in touch, Mayor Adler, with other city leaders in Texas, major cities in Texas, who are also struggling with the governor's mandates?
You know, I'm in regular contact not only with mayors in and around my state of Texas, but also mayors across the country on regular and weekly phone calls. And not only that, but mayors across the world. Right now, in so many places, it is the cities and the urban counties that are really communicating with their communities and establishing what's safe, what's not safe, and making sure that they're getting good information.
In addition to calling your restaurant policy Orwellian, the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is also accusing you of trampling on the Constitution by encouraging churches to offer remote services. Do you anticipate the Attorney General might take legal action against you and the capital city of Texas, Austin?
You know, I can't predict what the Attorney General is going to do or not do, but I'm real comfortable with the orders that we have. In this respect, the orders that we have are the same as the orders in the governor's order. What the governor has said is that it would be best if churches had their services remote. Our churches in our area have done a great job of building out that infrastructure. If they won't do that or can't do that, then they need to follow social distancing, and we're encouraging face coverings. But I'm confident that our orders are the right ones, and in fact, in this case, they mirror virtually what the governor's done.
All right, well, good luck over there in Austin, Texas. It's a great city, a wonderful city indeed. Mayor Adler, appreciate your joining us.
Well, thank you. Be safe.
All right, be safe as well. So is the President of the United States now purging government watchdogs? As critics say, the firing of the State Department Inspector General is but the latest move in that effort. A member of the House Oversight Committee standing by live to join us. But first, a quick programming note. Don't forget to tune in. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred. ABC Director Richard Besser. Former Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. And activist Greta Thunberg. They'll join our own Anderson Cooper and Dr. Sanjay Gupta in our Global Town Hall Coronavirus Facts and Fears that airs right after the Special Situation Room at the top of the next hour, 11 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, we'll take a quick break.
저희 회사 동생이 영어 공부를 하루에 30분씩 영상 유튜브를 한다고 하는데 너 절대 못한다 진짜. 와 진짜.
As businesses reopen, will WFH come to an end?
How realistic is it?
Returning to the office?
First day of school feeling.
Or could we
아,
spring
몸에 힘이 없지.
demand it, you're very likely to
Oh,
walk away without a job.
It's all in the delivery, Richard.
grounded travelers and their souvenirs?
Lufthansa Bear.
Singapore Airlines back. Who can play at this game?
Settle in for a long haul. WFH New Reality, tonight on CNN.
He's only 27 years old, but already he's an 8-time world champion in his sport. I'm catching up with Marc Marquez, who's at his parents' home in Spain.
Look, here is one of my favorite places. Here I have all my helmets. Of course, it's a difficult time. One thing is being at home with your family. In that thing, I'm very lucky because we have a really good relationship. And I did something different. I cook a little bit. I take care of the garden.
What are you cooking?
Some pizza with my hands. But the experience was not the best one. Look this. I burned my arm.
You actually cut your brother's hair recently.
Yeah, he was happy with the results. First of all, he said, cut everything, and I say, no, I will do a nice style.
I'm Matt Rivers in Mexico City. This is CNN.
Business is all about making connections. But some connections are easier to make than others. With a CNN partner hotel, the world is always at your fingertips. CNN partner hotels, connected to your world.
I'm Al Goodman in Madrid, and this is CNN.
We're going to have much more coverage of the coronavirus pandemic and all the late-breaking developments in just a few moments. But first, another major story we're following, new fallout right now from President Trump's sudden firing of the State Department's Inspector General. The State Department source confirmed to CNN that the Inspector General, Steve Linick, was investigating Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. And there are allegations that Pompeo made improper use of a political appointee. Now, the ranking member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Bob Menendez, and the House Foreign Affairs Committee Chair Eliot Engel, they have announced a probe into the firing. Congressman Ro Khanna is joining us right now. He's a member of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. The president says he lost confidence in the Inspector General at the State Department. That's why he was fired. Do you accept that explanation?
No, Wolf. This is clear retaliation. There are reports that the Inspector General had an investigation on Pompeo. The person who handed over some of the documents, Rudy Giuliani, his involvement in Ukraine. Look, the president delights in this phrase, you are fired. And the reality is that he has consistently fired the truth tellers in this administration.
This is the fourth Inspector General who's lost his or her job in the past month or so. A senior State Department official did confirm, Congressman, that Pompeo himself recommended the firing. Is this a case the House Oversight Committee, your committee, might be looking into?
Well, absolutely. These agencies are supposed to be independent. We have a democracy in this country. No one has absolute power. And if someone is, as is reported, investigating the Secretary of State, you can't have the Secretary of State short-circuit that investigation. It's outrageous. And what's further outrageous is that this shouldn't be partisan. These traditionally, as you know, Walt, have been independent agencies, non-political agencies, and people are retaliating to political ends.
Steve Linick, the Inspector General, the fired Inspector General, appears to have a true bipartisan history. As a career official, he oversaw the investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server, and his report was very critical of Hillary Clinton. Now an ally of Mike Pence is actually taking over the role as the Inspector General at the State Department. What's your reaction to that?
Well, look, this administration has shown that they have no regard for accountability. The reality is inspector generals are tough on whoever is in power. That's their job. These are huge positions of responsibility. You have huge taxpayer dollars, and the job of the inspector general is to have some degree of accountability. And this administration, whether it was Michael Atkinson or Linick or Colonel Hindeman, has shown that they don't believe in accountability on fact and reason. It's deeply concerning, and what's more concerning is that the Republicans aren't willing to hold them accountable.
As you can see, and as I mentioned, this is the fourth Inspector General removed since the start of April alone. That clearly has an effect on other inspectors generals working in various parts of the federal government.
It absolutely does, and this is designed to say, don't raise your voice against us. Don't investigate anyone in it's supposed to have a chilling effect. Look, our democracy is based on the fact that reason and facts matter, that we don't have people can do whatever they want. And this administration is riding roughshod over those simple principles.
Congressman Rokan, thanks so much for joining us. We'll continue this conversation down the road. Appreciate it very much. Stay safe out there.
Thank you, Wolf. You too.
All right, coming up, the president of the National Urban League will join me live to discuss why minorities are getting hit particularly hard by the coronavirus. Stick around. You're in the Situation Room.
No matter where.
When the road ahead seems uncertain, we continue to strive for a better tomorrow. And that starts with what we do today.
Tonight, Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar joins Jake on the prospects of a vaccine by the end of 2020. Also, Governor Mike DeWine on reopening Ohio, plus Senate Homeland Security Chairman Ron Johnson. State of the Union tonight.
As healthcare workers continue to battle on the front line against the coronavirus, athletes are doing what they can to help. US and Chelsea football star Christian Pulisic is showing his gratitude to those health workers in his hometown, Hershey, Pennsylvania, by teaming up to deliver meals on the weekend.
You guys truly are the superheroes that we need right now. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for your sacrifice, for you and all your families.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans might be looking forward to the new football season, but in these desperate times of the pandemic, the team owners are helping with the relief efforts in their community.
We're donating 5 million meals with the help of Feeding Tampa Bay to reach 5 counties to feed children at meal sites, to deliver meals to seniors confined to their homes, and to provide groceries and meals to individuals and families in need.
For more information on how you can help during this pandemic, go to cnn.com/impact.
It's an unprecedented time filled with stress and uncertainty. And more than ever, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says parents need to make time for themselves. Acknowledge your feelings and allow yourself to feel them. Don't minimize those feelings. Avoid comparing how you feel to how others feel. We're all different. Give yourself a break. You're doing your best. Set clear boundaries. Don't get sucked into working 24/7. Set limits so you don't get burned out. Focus on what you can control so your thoughts won't spiral and get overwhelming. Take 5. Do something for yourself that's only for you. Make time for laughter and joy. FaceTime a friend. Social distancing doesn't mean social isolation. And finally, practice gratitude. It can help you focus on what you have instead of what you don't.
My name is Con Nguyen. I'm from Vietnam. I own a small craft beer business here in Hanoi. We had the coronavirus patient number 17 here in Vietnam, the one that came back from Europe, and she tested positive. And the reaction from the government was actually surprisingly quick. And then my brewery received a letter from the government as well saying that even the brewery has to cut down on the operation to occupy time. I mean, I'm spending a lot of time with my parents now, so we have a garden out like on the rooftop. So I've been helping them taking care of the garden, and I actually went on to find some part-time work with a marketing company. They're doing some translation work and research and such online. So it's been okay. For Vietnam in general, I think the coming months are looking very good for myself and my business. You know, craft beer is somewhat of a new product here in Vietnam, and it's still a niche product. So for my business, it will slow down a little bit, but yeah, we will still remain.
I'm Jim Bitterman in Paris, and this is CNN.
We'll have more of the coronavirus pandemic in just a moment. But look at this. We have some breaking news coming into the Situation Room from Los Angeles. These are live pictures of a multiple building fire near downtown LA. 10 firefighters are reportedly injured.
여기까지만 하겠습니다.
The Los Angeles Fire Department issued
근데 할 때마다 꼭
what's called a
21분이네.
Mayday call over the past 30 minutes or so. We're going to get more information, get you more